everyone, and welcome to another edition of Studio de Sapo. This that we do where we demonstrate products that we make, and then we also might feature that we're working on. Today, however, we're because it's March and because March is Women's International Month, we're here. I'm Katie from Monkey Stuff Jewelry. Katie, hi.
Hi.
We're featuring each session that we do with local business women in the area, and we thought it'd be fun to invite them here with us and to make some soap. The soap we're making is our Clean for a Cause soap, which is the vanilla oatmeal, thank you, soaps. And ours, we donate 100% of the proceeds to local organizations and charities. And so this month, since it is Women's International Month, we'll be donating the proceeds from the sale of these bars to a women's charity here in the local area. Do you have one that you want us to check out and see if we can donate to?
I'm personally a fan of Hannah House. It's a shelter for women and children.
Okay.
So that would be my pick.
Cool. Awesome. All right. So before we start, let's just find out a little bit about you. So you're here in the Reeltown Marketplace.
Mm-hmm.
You moved in what?
November.
In November.
Mm-hmm.
So tell us a little bit about what you're all about.
Well,
It's all about you, girl.
I've been in business for about 3 years.
Okay.
At first I started just making stuff and kind of doing like vintage stuff and whatever. Within like the last year or so, I've gotten into supporting like small wholesale brands, like US made brands, and a lot of them are like women owned, now on Amazon, so that's really my thing. So yeah, I have like a small boutique here in the marketplace, and I have like a huge variety of stuff I make, stuff I buy. So yeah, that's what
Cool.
I do.
Now, since you've moved in here too, I've been following you on social media, and you've got some classes that you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what are those all about?
Well, I've always been like passionate about getting children into the art and craft space. I think it brings a lot of confidence and just kind of gives them a new experience. So I do teach kids classes here at the marketplace, and all the information on those is on my Facebook page. I have all the events there. So
We'll post a link to in the comments, so you'll be able to find that out too. So, and these are going to be something that's going to be ongoing.
Yep.
Throughout the year.
Yep. Every month it'll be like a different class for a different age group. So
Awesome. So what inspired you to be an entrepreneur, to start out to just jump off the ledge and do your own thing?
Well, it was actually always something I wanted to do. Like when I was little, I always used to be like, oh, it'd be so cool if I had like a clothing store one day. So I guess it was always something that was in my mind that I didn't think was possible. Until I started doing like art shows and things like that, and then started flipping clothing, and I was like, well, this might be a thing. And I had a million different jobs and I hated every single one. And so I was like, if I'm gonna be poor anyways, I'm gonna be poor and happy instead of poor and miserable.
For sure, for sure. What's your favorite aspect of your day-to-day business, or your day-to-day activities in your business? What is your favorite thing to do?
Honestly, just being surrounded by things that bring me joy, and knowing that all the work that I do is for me. I'm not working to pay somebody else's bills.
Yeah, yeah, that's good. What's your biggest challenge as a small business person, do you think?
Taxes is the scariest part for me. That's something that's always brought me a lot of, it's not as hard as you think it is once you start doing it, but
It's a little intimidating at first.
Yeah. So for me, that's my biggest challenge, is getting comfortable with the finances and time management, taxes, all of that.
Speaking of time management, now you have a little girl, right?
Mm-hmm.
So work balance is kind of important to you, I would think.
Yeah.
Right? So how do you work that out? Do you have a good support system that helps with babysitting and all that kind of stuff? Or?
I do. She's 11 now, so she's old enough.
She's ready to go to work.
I wish. No, she was old enough to stay home alone. This isn't something I could have done if she was still 4 years old. So that's a big part of it. But as far as work-life balance goes, I think that's just probably a work in progress for everyone that owns a business.
Yeah, for sure.
It's just kind of...
It's constant.
Yeah, it's like one thing. It's not... Life and work is not two separate things, so...
Right. We'd like to say it is, but
Right.
I think you're right. Especially when you're your own business person.
Yeah.
You're wearing all those hats and yeah.
Always something that needs to be done,
Right.
so...
And you find every little minute or hour of whenever to try and get those things done. Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure. So do you have any words of wisdom before we start making soap for the folks out there that may be thinking about starting their own business?
Honestly, I would say, and this might sound not super clear, but honestly, if it's something that you want to do, keep thinking about it. Like, the more that, like, that's what got me through, is like daydreaming about it, thinking about how I'm going to make it happen. And don't be like afraid to reach out to people. Don't be afraid to do art shows. Don't be afraid to ask questions. And just keep acting on your ideas, and yeah.
Cool. All right, well, have you ever made soap before?
No.
Really? Awesome. Well, like I said today, you're going to get a crash course. I've made it pretty simple though. So we're going to be making our vanilla oatmeal Clean for a Cause soap. And we have some safety equipment that you'll need to wear. These lovely, well, you got your glasses, so I think you're okay. I won't make you wear these ridiculous goggles. And then there's some gloves here. Now, typically, if you were working with raw lye and water, we'd probably want to have a long sleeve kind of situation, but I've already mixed this. It's already at room temperature, so it's a lot easier to work with. And then our oils here, we have our blend of our house oils that we use for our body bars. And it's a combination of olive, coconut, castor, shea butter, cocoa butter. What else is in there? Rapeseed oil, palm oil. Yeah, there's a blend of like 7 or 8 plant-based oils that we use. So those are mixed here and melted. And for soaping, temperature is a big deal. So we like the oils to be around 100 degrees or so. And that just makes it easy to mix it up and to get it in the mold. Because what will happen when we add the lye, this mixture will start to saponify. In other words, the lye mixture, which this is with water, you could use different things instead of water if you wanted to, but for this, most of our soaps, it's just water. We do some goat's milk too, but that's a whole nother episode. Anyways, so once you add this to this soap, it'll start to emulsify and saponify. So saponify, what does that mean? That means basically this chemical is going to change the molecular structure of this oil. So it turns I'm not going to get all chemistry on you, but it changes the chemical makeup of the oil and turns it into soap. So that's, in short definition, that's saponify. So we have some tools that we're going to be using when we mix these together. Have you ever used an immersion blender or a stick blender? Oh, awesome. Well, see, you're the first one. None of the people we've done before has ever used one of these babies. But this is a soaper's main piece of equipment. You could do it by hand, but it's twice the amount of time it takes to whip it up with an immersion blender. So that's what we use. We've got some oatmeal. We add just a couple of teaspoons to this. We're making it as a 2-pound mold. And what we'll do then, we'll pour this in here, and then it will sit overnight, and then 24 or 30 hours or so, I'll take it out of the mold, and we'll slice it into the slices that we sell. So, and then it'll have to cure for a while. And just the curing process, a lot of people think that the curing process is about the chemicals. It's not, it's about the water. So there's still going to be quite a bit of moisture in the loaf after it sets up. So the curing process really is just to kind of let that moisture evaporate. And it just makes the bar harder, which will help make it last longer. So
Okay.
that's really the only difference. All right, so we've got our spoon here. Mix the lye into the oils. You'll see the mixture will kind of change color a little bit. It'll kind of start to look like pudding or cake batter, and then pudding. It'll slowly, as this is added, or once this is all added and we start mixing it up, it'll start getting warm. It'll heat up. The chemical will actually heat up the oils and stuff.
Okay.
So you're kind of limited. You have a certain amount of time that you can still work with this, that it's still going to be pretty fluid, that you can pour it in there. It's probably kind of similar to resin, right?
Yeah.
You do a lot of resin.
I do. That's what I was thinking, because resin is also like a 2-part process. Each part has a different texture, and you have to make sure that they're blended to 100%, or you'll end up with really weird spots in the resin.
I'm sure that's never happened to you, right?
Not too much anymore, because now I know what I'm doing.
Right.
But my first
Starting
time,
out, yeah. Lord, I can tell you some stories about some soap that we've experienced. All right, so we'll go ahead. You're going to do this since you're all gloved
Okay.
up and everything. You're just going to add, I'm left-handed, so everything looks backwards probably
That's okay.
to you. So you're going to add your lye water, and what I usually do is kind of pour it over the spoon just so it doesn't splash, and then go ahead and add it all in, and then we'll go through.
Do I stir as I pour?
No, just pour it over the spoon into it. We'll use the immersion blender too. You can do it pretty quickly too, because it's cool.
All right, then I set this over here.
Yeah, you can set it there, and then take your immersion blender, and you're gonna stick that in there and just kind of burp it a little bit. Make sure you get all the air bubbles out.
Button right here.
Hold on. That one's the turbo. We don't want to use that
Oh.
one. This is the regular speed,
Okay.
and I have it turned down to low, which is plenty for this. What happened too is the oils maybe got a little cold while we were waiting for a while for our segment. So I should have probably, and I could have just popped it in the microwave just to get a little warm. So what we want here, which we're already kind of there, is what we call light trace. And what we mean by trace is when I pick this up and I kind of dab it back into the batter, it sits on top, it doesn't go in, which we're definitely there.
Yeah.
So we got to add our oatmeal. Go ahead and add 2 teaspoons of that, and then
It's
you
like
just,
cake. I want to eat it.
I know,
Just 2?
yeah, a little goes a long way with that. And then we're just gonna mix that in there quickly
With this?
with the spoon. Yeah, just gonna fold it in there. Do you bake?
No.
Okay. Sometimes you can kind of tell how somebody
Yeah,
handles.
you can probably tell
the
that I
bowl.
don't.
No, it's fine.
I cook a little bit, but baking never.
It's too much science. Is that the problem? Or?
Yeah, I just can't seem to get it. Cooking, you can kind of tweak it as you go,
Yeah.
but baking, if you mix it bad, you're just kind of screwed. Okay, are
All
we
right.
good?
Yeah, I think you're good. You can go ahead and we're going to add that into the mold here.
Definitely looks and smells like cake batter.
Yeah. Yeah, because it's vanilla, so yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. All right, now you just kind of want to bop that up and down and get all the air bubbles out. Cool. Yeah. So then this will just sit overnight, just like this. It'll heat up too. I don't know. It's not yet, but you'll feel it get warm.
That's how
and-
resin is too.
Yeah.
It's hot.
Yep.
Yeah.
Same thing. Yeah, that's true. I never thought of that. It's pretty similar, probably. Well, we
That's
really
awesome.
appreciate you coming and joining us today. It was great fun, and the best of luck to you and your business in the future. And we look forward to having you here in the marketplace too. So.
Well, thank you. This was fun.